Boston Celtics were on the second night of the back-to-back, without Gordon Hayward and still trying to figure things this season. Even with those, there's no denying the Mavericks are a completely different team from a few weeks ago and handling the best defensive team in the NBA for 48 minutes.
These both intersect on each one I reflect.
Dallas beats Boston
These lines write my story.
1-0
These places change each one replacing.
Otherwise,
Long
it
night
was
into
wired.
morning. I miss the open
Without any schedule here, after the wrist injury, Luka Doncic was the full-time point guard for the first time all season.
riding with you.
The Mavericks jumped out the gate quickly behind that 6 billion that's a shooting and passing in Dallas. Never really looked back.
Guess I'm better off alone.
Got
Never
tied
know
in the
when
third
I'll
quarter,
get
but the Knicks
home.
instantly
But I
responded to grab
know
control of the
that
game and never
where the
relented.
heart is. Guess I'm better off this way.
Dallas advanced to 500 in a death portion of the
But I
schedule.
know that where the heart is.
The new point guard Doncic got to play point guard full time for the first time all season and that he didn't just punch the best defense in the NBA. First defender Carlisle had options for playing the line because guard JJ. Barrett or maybe John Brunson to keep Barrett in his customary bench role.
The endless
Carlisle
journey.
different to the
I
modern NBA
need
backpack
not
with spans have been twisting over for
worry.
some time now.
I'll get where I'm going.
Having Doncic on the show and started an odd really small ball have a Doncic, Wesley Matthews, Harrison Barnes, Dwayne Finney-Smith and Gavin Durant.
I miss the open
You know where that is for the Knicks. Doncic so far this season has only played 2 minutes total without one of the next point guards alongside him.
riding with you.
It felt like Pandora's box was finally open. Doncic finished with 15 points, 8 assists and just 3 turnovers.
Alone, never know when I'll get home.
Orchestrating the Mavericks to 48.3% shooting, 39% from 3 on 41 attempts.
This way, moving to better days. But I
Closing in with the Celtics best first big up and down the team. Nearly did it to lose, picking up shooters in the quarters, initiating the offense and pushing the press. Doncic as point guard, it finally felt like the rest of the rotation fell into place. Mavericks shot 12 points on hit by the Wilson for the place. Barnes with the spot up the team, 10 and 5, up, -7 from Luka Doncic and coming a good attempt. It was less active, dribbling of the ball and more solid, more pace and more direction. Of course, it's only one game against an admittedly tired and out of sorts team. This felt right. Even still, it was a tantalizing preview of the future Mavericks. There's no doubt Doncic should be running the show every game, but there are still things to be sorted, like Smith's role in the team. It's far too early to make any grand proclamations, but it sure was fun watching Doncic run point. Hopefully that becomes the norm in Dallas soon enough. Role player Harrison Barnes is the best Harrison Barnes. There's been debate on Max Twitter about how Barnes fits in with the future of this Mavericks team. The positive outlook was on full display tonight. Barnes took 12 shots, 7 of them threes, and was mostly regulated to a spot-up guy while Doncic ran the offense. It's the best version of Barnes, the one who plays versatile defense while not having to do too much on offense. Barnes' isolations and post-ups were a godsend on the top start next teams from the past 2 seasons, but things have changed to Dallas as a top team for now. It was always going to be an odd transition, but tonight was a good barometer for how Barnes can be a very positive player in this current version of the Mavericks. Livingston had a couple of isolations and post-ups, but they were mostly relegated to when Doncic was on the bench and against the Celtics' second unit. That's a perfect spot for his looks, so the Mets can have their cake and eat it too when it Lakers have to make sure to regulate it into Barnes buy into a role that he'll probably overpay for. The fearsome bench is almost back there. At some wonky games early in the season without his rocks in lineup with Dirk Nowitzki and Devin Harris both nursing injuries. Harris is back now and Dirk is soon to follow, and it's done wonders for the next Benton Bears game. Harris had a modest 9 points, but hit some crucial buckets after the Celtics took a 1-point lead in the third quarter to get the game back under control for the Mavericks. Barrows score all night, reverting back to his form the previous handful of seasons and being dynamite outside the arc. Barrow drilled 2 3-pointers and hit a couple of nice mid-range jumpers and just looked great all night. He finished with 20 points, 8 assists and 2 turnovers in his 26 minutes off the bench, and the transition from Nowitzki to Barrow was seamless. The next 2 never faltered throughout the game. While it's annoying in a vacuum that the Mavericks need to monitor 30 players to look like a competent team. At least this version of Mavericks basketball is a lot better than whatever we saw 2 weeks ago. It's only going to get better when Dirk gets back, and Dwight Powell is out with a knee injury again, but it's nice to see Barrett and Harris feasting against opposing benches once again.